Do you really need attic baffles? Here's the truth. After crawling through thousands of attics around Clinton and the Connecticut shoreline for nearly 5 decades, I've seen it all. Moldy rafters, ice dams the size of surfboards, and insulation jobs that look more like art projects gone wrong. And let me tell you, skipping baffles? That's one of the biggest mistakes I see. If you've ever wondered whether insulation baffles are actually necessary, or just another contractor upsell, you're in the right place. First off, what the heck is a baffle? Insulation baffles, some folks call them rafter vents or chute vents, are lightweight plastic, cardboard, or foam channels that go up in your attic, right where your roof meets the soffits. Their job? Keep air moving through your attic the way it's supposed to. You probably have soffit vents on your house. Those let fresh air into the attic. But here's the catch. If you blow insulation all the way to the edge of the roof without installing baffles, you're smothering that vent like a pillow over a campfire. Why do baffles matter? Let me break it down like I would on a job site. 1. They keep your insulation from becoming a soggy, moldy mess. When airflow gets blocked, moisture builds up. That leads to mold, wood rot, and insulation that starts to smell like a wet basement. I once worked on a house on Liberty Street, where the attic felt like a rainforest in July. No baffles, no airflow, and no chance of drying out. 2. They're the lungs of your attic. Think of baffles like nostrils for your attic. They let fresh air in from the soffits and let hot, stale air escape through the ridge vent. Without baffles, your attic is basically holding its breath, and your whole house suffers. 3. They cut your energy bills. No joke. If your attic overheats in summer, your AC works overtime. In winter, poor airflow leads to ice dams that can rip your gutters right off. Proper ventilation, yep, with baffles, helps your insulation perform like it's supposed to. That means a more comfortable home and lower energy bills. 4. They protect your roof. Heat and moisture are the enemies of a healthy roof. I've seen shingles curl up and die years before their time because the attic underneath was baking them from the inside out. Don't let your roof rot from below. Baffles set the stage. Our value does the heavy lifting. Here's the thing. You can blow in all the insulation you want, but if you skip the baffles, it's like building a fireplace with no chimney. That smoke in your attic? It's heat and moisture with nowhere to go. Baffles and our value work as a team. Baffles make sure your attic breathes, keeping air moving from soffit to ridge vent. Our value tells you how much insulation you need to keep the heat in and your energy bills down. In Connecticut, code calls for our 49 to our 60 in your attic. That usually means 13 to 16 inches of cellulose or fiberglass. But here's the kicker. If that insulation gets damp or compressed because of poor airflow, no baffles, the R value drops like a rock. So not only are you losing energy, but the insulation you pay for isn't even doing its job. That's why we start every attic upgrade by making sure airflow is clear. Then we insulate to the right R value based on your home and goals. When you need baffles, in my professional opinion, if you got soffit vents and you're adding insulation, you need baffles. They're a must-if. You're upgrading attic insulation, especially blown-in cellulose. Your attic feels like a sauna in summer. You've seen mold, water stains, or that funky attic smell. You get ice dams in the winter, huge red flag. Does spray foam insulation need baffles? Great question, and the answer depends on how and where you're using spray foam. If you're doing spray foam at the roofline, what we call a hot roof or unvented attic system, you don't need baffles. In that setup, we seal the entire attic envelope with closed cell spray foam. Roof deck, gable walls, the whole thing. That insulation is the air barrier, so ventilation isn't needed. But if you're spraying the attic floor and still using soffit vents for ventilation, then yes, you absolutely need baffles. Just like with cellulose or fiberglass, the spray foam can block the soffit vents if it's not managed properly. That chokes off airflow and creates the same moisture and heat issues we've been talking about. Bottom line, hot roof with spray foam, no baffles needed. Vented attic with soffit vents, baffles are a must. How we do baffles at Nealon. This isn't our first attic. When we install baffles, we locate each rafter bay and make sure soffit vents are clear, position baffles from soffit up the roofline to keep the airflow moving, staple them in securely, so they can handle New England weather. Make sure the insulation never blocks that airflow. And yes, we check it twice, like Santa with a clipboard. Common attic baffle FAQs. How can I tell if my attic already has baffles installed? Look along the roof edges where the rafters meet the outside walls. Baffles usually look like foam or cardboard channels between the rafters, angled upward. If insulation is packed right up against the roof deck with no gap, chances are no baffles. Do baffles need to be in every rafter bay? Yes. If there's a soffit vent, there should be a baffle in that bay. Skipping bays creates dead spots where air can't move, leading to heat buildup, moisture problems, and wasted insulation. Do baffles ever need to be replaced? They can, especially the older cardboard or thin foam ones. If they're crushed, moldy, or torn, they're no longer doing their job and should be swapped out. Can I use baffles with insulation other than cellulose or fiberglass? Absolutely. Baffles work with any insulation in a vented attic, rock wool, recycled cotton, hybrids. The goal is the same: protect that airflow path at the roof edge. Bottom line, baffles are a no-brainer. They're cheap, quick to install, and can save you thousands in repairs and energy bills. I had a homeowner on Beach Park Road call me up 2 years after we did their attic, just to say thanks. No more ice dams, and their cooling bills dropped nearly 30%. That's what good insulation and good airflow can do. At Nealon, we don't just blow an insulation and call it a day. We look at the whole system: ventilation, air sealing, and comfort. That's why homeowners in Clinton and across Connecticut have trusted us since 1977. Ready to talk? Schedule a free attic assessment. No pressure, no hard sell, just honest advice and proven results. Let's make your attic breathe easy.